Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Blacktop Banter. We're back with another episode. This is episode 57. We're pushing hard to get to 100. I'm pretty confident we're going to get to 100 before the end of the year. You see all these podcasts with thousands of episodes, hundreds of episodes, right? They just keep churning them out and they get insignificant. It just ends up becoming a number. I mean, even Rogan's got thousands and you can't even remember the old ones. See, with ours, they're all like very, very important. They're very significant. A lot of thought and effort and plan goes into them. That way they're memorable. So we go ahead and keep the number low, make sure they're high quality, and then we bring them to you and they become memorable. And then we talk about them when we see each other. So we're back, episode 57. And I got a pretty decent guest, I guess, today. Like, he's all right, I guess. I mean, he keeps telling everybody we're becoming friends, but I'm still kind of up in the air with it, I guess. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
What's going on, y'all? Josh Rigsbee. I'm with ChemTek. I'm with Asphalt Cowboys. I'm with Bull City Blacktop. I'm kind of with them all, man.
Man, just like that. See, you say we're friends, then you try to own more businesses, have more hands than anything that I do. Just to one up me right away. I got it. Well, you do have age on your side. So listen, man. If you throw 10 businesses at the wall, one of them's got to stick.
One of them's got to stick, exactly.
Yeah, I'm kind of putting my money on the ChemTek one, but the verdict's still. The verdict's still out on it. Like, I don't know for sure if it's gonna go or not.
Look, that's what I say, man. You just throw a dart at the wall and you see what sticks and you roll with the punches. I mean,
yeah, that's right. I mean, you play your card. If you play your cards right, ChemTek probably have a booth at World of Asphalt or MPE.
Maybe a 40-foot.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, like I said, we're
4 foot.
You know, Connex this year is going to be huge. We're doing we got the 30 by 20, the big box one out in the aisle now. So we're actually going to have the 360-degree setup this time.
Man, you're gonna have to sell a couple more bottles of juice for that, I think. Well, real quick,
don't let your dog drink it.
Yeah, don't let your dog drink. Real quick, tell everybody what ChemTek is, so like that at least gives us a base for people to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, so ChemTek, it's my family's business. My father started it. Now it's me, him, and my sister kind of running the show. What we do is we make very niche industrial maintenance chemicals. So for us specifically in asphalt paving, we know for a fact it's the world's greatest release agent.
Here we go. Sales. We already had a sales video on TikTok and stuff. We don't have to do that again. But yes, it does have great reviews and people do swear by it, certain people. So yes.
We came up with the original replacement for diesel fuel way back in the day and have just been rolling with that since. We've got runway rubber removal detergents that we built that industry. First people to come out with a silica dust suppressant specifically for milling machines. Got Asphalt Contractor Magazine New Product of the Year for that. We have a construction division. So we do asphalt maintenance on runways, concrete maintenance on runways. We do airfield striping, crack sealant, joint sealant, spall repair, rejuvenation. So pretty much everything there is to do minus the initial laydown. So there's kind of two sides to that.
That's why you do like 15 businesses, because you have like 15 services inside of each business.
Exactly. We got a lot of crossover.
Yeah. So yeah, I've come to find that out. You have a lot of crossover. You're like Gary Payton, dude, from the Supersonics. You have so much crossover. So that's old school, dude. People probably would, right? Dude, no one really remembers that. So we'd probably say like Westbrook now with all the crossovers. But yeah, so I mean, let's kind of talk about what ChemTek is famous for, and that's PavePro, right? That's the diesel replacement that we were talking about, right? Or the release agent that we were kind of talking about. So real quick, tell us about that, and then we're going to talk about your youth growing up in the industry and all that stuff. So because you're getting old now.
Yeah, I'm turning 24 this year.
Yeah, you're not youthful anymore. Okay. So tell us about PavePro real quick before we get into all your shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of hit the high points on it. It at a very high level, what it does is it works just like diesel fuel, but replaces all the problems with diesel. So I'm sure everyone knows that when you spray that mess on their diesel fuel, it evaporates off really quick. You spray and spray and spray. Lo and behold, it evaporates, goes away. So what this does when you spray it on, not only is it a more powerful solvent, but it's got an extremely high flash point. You're talking 400 plus degrees. It's not going to evaporate, keeps penetrating. It actually bonds molecularly. It's hydrophobic and it bonds to the metal. So when you have a clean slate, a clean shovel, that release power that you'd be expecting with diesel fuel, that like slick oily film, man, you just turn that stuff up. It's like it's on crack. You're sitting there shovel,
Listen,
bang,
dude,
bang.
listen. So
It
you
ain't
use a
gonna
word
stick.
like hydrophobic, and then you use a word like crack in the exact same sentence.
Like I said, man, you got to do it all. You got
What is define hydrophobic for me?
define hydrophobic. So it's when something has a fear of water at a very simple level.
All right, fair enough. You got it. All right, fine, fair enough.
It's like olophobic.
I'll give you that one. Yeah, I'll give you. You must have went to college.
Yeah, I did, and I will say it's the world's most expensive sheet of paper.
I got you. Fair enough. You know, I use sheets of paper every day that are really, really handy. You know,
I go to Staples and print me off one.
Yeah, if you could just copy that UNC degree and go ahead and like just write it out, put my name on it.
No problem.
You know, I got to be qualified.
That's what friends are for.
Oh
right?
yeah, I got to be I got to be qualified for that in communications. The major has to be in communications by now, I would think. So let's talk about you growing up and being in the industry and whatnot, and then you know, growing up with your dad and everything else. And you got a lot of connections. You're much like myself, where through the years you've connected with a lot of people. Your dad has, everybody has, everyone in this industry that's been in it a while, at least in the community part of it, has a lot of connections. So tell us about like you getting started and being in the industry and everything else, and when you were like, all right, this is probably what I'm going to end up doing.
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of started from when I was born. I mean, everything that we did as a family somewhat revolved around the business. Some of my earliest memories are sitting in the back of the F-750, passing back around to my dad as he's stomping it and walking down the runway. Just thousands and thousands of feet of crack sealing up and down a runway at like 2 a.m. So and for me, those are really fond memories. Like to some people, they're like, that's wild, that's weird. Why would that be like a core memory for you?
Yeah.
But I mean, I can smell the crack kettle. I can feel the back rod of my hand. I can see the lights. I can hear it buzzing. Like that for me was like such a
imprint.
Yeah, an imprint in my life and in my mind of like, I really enjoy being a part of this thing that provided for me when I was that age.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting to that point where it's like you start considering things like having a family, and that's like I would love to be able to use what provided for me to provide for them, and to see that second generation me move into a third, move into a fourth. And so that for me now is kind of one of the big motivators. But to get back to what you were saying about growing up in it, that memory sticks out in my mind. Started when I was a young teenager, scrubbing floors, cleaning baseboards, cleaning bathrooms at our manufacturing plant, slowly working my way up through every single position, doing everything you could do, mechanics helper, mechanics assistant, manufacturing the chemicals, doing shipping and receiving, doing stuff in the lab, moving into the office when I got into college, learning the business side of things from the office perspective now after 6 years of being out in the plant making stuff. And then all of that at the same time is we got a job, at Fort Bragg, we got a job at Maxwell, we got a job at Lackland. Boom, we're hopping in the plane, we're going down there, and we're going to be working 13-hour shifts, getting paint put down on the runway. Then right back home, right back to switch gear. Okay, now we're selling chemical again.
Yeah.
So it's always, there's so many moving parts, and you've got to be adaptable. And that's one big thing that I've taken with me and tried to run with, is that's why I've got so many different things going on.
Yeah.
Is that's how the company is. We've got 15 different projects happening at the same time.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of the ways that you define yourself. Now I'm sure you got a million things going on. It's if you're not go.
Yeah. You get used to it. Yeah, you get used to it, and then you come to realize that trying to find a replacement is going to be very, very difficult, because there has to be somebody that can do the same. And the problem is that you have spent years being adapted to this role. And it allows me to juggle a lot of things. It took a while before I could juggle a lot of things effectively, if that makes sense. Like I could always do everything, but I could rarely do everything well. And even now I'm still improving on that. And that's one of my goals, is always to improve on that. And it seems like you're starting to hit that stride, because, you know, when I call you or we talk regularly, it's always, hey, what's up? Hey, oh, I got to go, bye. And then like the phone's hung up because you have a client calling to buy chemicals. And then there'll be another call back within 2 minutes. And you're like, man, I can't believe it. Whatever. We'll get talking about something. Oh, I got to go, bye. And then here we are. We're back to square one again. But then at World of Asphalt Cowboys was a hit. You started seeing a lot of the hats everywhere, right? And
we're pretty much sold slap out of everything.
Yeah, so that's good. And then I get on Instagram, which everyone knows, Blacktop Banter's pushing on Instagram really hard, and we created a really good community there of people that are devoted. They follow us, they comment, really appreciate that. But I noticed something said Bull City, and I was like, man, I think that looks like Josh's profile. So let's, before we jump to everything else you do, I want to touch on what you said about generational, being a generational business, because I made a post and wrote a decent little, I guess an article, I guess we'll say, about being at the Raised on Blacktop booth. My boy was in the booth, and I had a really good reflection on that same thing you're talking about, generational. And then, we've seen people in that booth, fathers that were there with their sons buying Raised on Blacktop gear for kids and stuff like that. And that's American Pavement is their backbone. Same thing. So it's a big deal to be an embodiment of that. I've made a post today about the McGee's at Piedmont Paving. It's another generational one. All 4 kids are working there together. They had some great stories. I hope to get them back on here and talk about it, because the dynamic is kind of crazy there. Yeah, it's just crazy how well it works with them. So, I mean, when you talk about generational stuff, let's talk about, like, your sister works there, right?
Yep.
ChemTek.
And my brother.
And your brother. And do you think that the appreciation for your dad grew because you were present at those times in the business as it grew? Do you think that is kind of where you get an appreciation for what the business is?
Yeah, I mean, everyone sees the surface of everything, right? You see, oh, they're crushing it. Oh, they're struggling. No, whatever it may be, any business, not just ours. But you don't see everything that goes on behind the scenes. And when you're a part of that family business, the struggle of, seeing your dad work 80 hours a week, we're crushing it, but he's working 80 hours a week growing up, right?
Yeah.
Or now it's like, when times get tough, my sister's at the office till midnight. I'm here from 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. We're on the phone at midnight talking about how we can solve this problem. Everyone else goes home and goes to sleep, hangs out with their family, back in the morning, do the routine, but you don't see the behind the scenes stuff. And that's where it's like you gain this appreciation and this devotion and this connection to what you're building and what you're doing together. And it really makes you care so much more about what you're doing every day.
Well, you think about it in the sense that if he didn't do that, then ChemTek wouldn't be what it is now, right?
And it's a huge motivator. It's like he was able to bring, I mean, you and I have talked about his story, and I'm sure he'll be here at one point to talk about his story of,
oh, for sure, he's going to be on,
coming from nothing to building it to what it is now.
Yeah.
And then that motivating me to take it to what it is now.
Yeah.
And blow that shit up, just take it even to new heights that no one thought possible.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and that's kind of what I feel like I'm in your dad's role with building that foundation. So don't get me wrong, I'm going to drive that stake into the ground, do it as far as I can so nobody can dig it out. Right. But in the meantime, I'm already in Eli's ear talking to him about the foundation that I'm building so that later on he can go ahead and have more success and breed success.
Speaking of Instagram, that picture you posted with him with the wheel, that was,
oh yeah, dude, he's ready.
I really like that.
He's ready, dude. He's ready. This year he was like, this year I could feel more than ever he's ready, which I always made him come, and then we would do something fun so he would enjoy it a little bit. But this year he's ready. He's getting to that point where
for those of you guys that didn't see it, he had a picture of him and his boy on there with the wheel.
Yeah,
measuring wheel. What did you say? He said, "Dad, I want to know how you come up with the numbers."
Yeah, he said, "I want to know how you come up with the numbers." He's a numbers guy, dude.
Those same words came out of my mouth. How do you come up with these numbers?
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's a numbers guy. Like, I'll spit some numbers out for him to multiply, and we're talking up into the thousands. He's 11, and it'll be off the wall, like non-fives, non-zeros at the end. And I'll be like, dude, what's X times X? Or how many is that? Like, if we had 10 of them, or if we had 23 of them, how much would it be? And if you give him enough time, like, he don't use his fingers, nothing, boom, he'll spit it out. So awesome. I know who's going to be doing estimate maintenance sales, because dude, he loves to talk. Like, I love to talk now. I wasn't always like this, but dude, he has never had fear, dude. I'll tell you a quick story. We were at a demolition derby. You know what that is, right?
Yep.
So we were one here, right? And he was like, he wanted cotton candy. And dude, I'd already bought everything besides cotton candy. I'm like, dude, I'm not buying you cotton candy. Well, he bought like a practice butterfly knife. And so the butterfly knife don't have a blade. It's just like it's like a butter knife on each side. So he's messing around, right? Well, he goes up by the concession stand, comes back, and he's got 2 cotton candies. I'm like, dude, what did you do? And he's like, well, I started doing butterfly knife tricks for dollars up there. He's like, and next thing I know, I had enough money to buy 2 cotton candies. So he brought one back and gave one to his sister and stuff. And I'm like, dude,
was a hustler.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna be fine. So, I mean, those are skills, obviously, that UNC you're not going to learn, right? And at high school, I'm not going to learn. You're not going to learn. No one's going to learn. They're learned inside the business that makes every cog, whether that's you, your brother, your sister, your dad, your mom, everybody, indispensable. Like, they have to be there. They have to function. Yep. That's what makes generational business so important to pass on, is because there's only so many people. There's only a certain type of person that can fill that void, and it's the person that knows it because they grew up in it.
Yeah, and I would really say for a small business in general, I mean, just because you do big numbers doesn't mean you have lots of people. I think people get that misconstrued a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not a huge business. We're decent size for what we do, but I mean, every person that works for us, I mean, you name it, they are, and you met a lot of them at the World of Asphalt. I mean, every one of the people that are part of this company are indispensable. That there is no doubt in our mind. When someone goes on vacation, everyone's like, all right, it hurts, man. It hurts bad. So it shows you that, like, your people are, we say this all the time. We beat this in no matter what it is we're selling, how we tie it back in, but your people are your most important asset. Your people are the most important thing about your company, no matter what.
Yeah. And when you say that when one person's gone, everybody feels it, no matter what person it is, that lets you know that the business is running very efficiently, right? Because if all the parts are there and it's running smooth and one small piece gets away, and it starts to be like, okay, everybody, all hands on deck, we're going to pay more attention. Yep. Then, you know, like, all right, dude, there's no
people just standing around like,
right.
We saved that for the construction side.
Yeah. So thinking of that, right? So we think about ChemTek and your business and the way you grew up and everything. Dude, you're busy on ChemTek. Every time I call you or we talk, most of the time it's about ChemTek, unless you're at home and we're talking and you're walking outside or whatever. Asphalt Cowboy, Bull City, ChemTek, other ventures that I know you're into.
Yep.
Why do that? Why do that, Josh? Why try? If ChemTek could fully keep you as busy as you want to be, I know it could. Why do all this other stuff too?
Part of it, the quick answer and the easy answer and the catch-all is ADHD. It fulfills my desire to have a million things going on. But when I start to think, I mean, I do think about that a lot, actually. And it really ties back into, I feel like you see a problem and you have a solution for it.
Right. Or you know you can do it better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I see so many of these problems that I can solve. And I'm like, I know a great idea for this. I know And I'm like, I need to do it. I can't do it. I mean, the start Asphalt Cowboys has been something that I've had written down in my mind since I was a sophomore in college. So you're talking 2018. We're in 2022 now.
That's not that long ago when you consider my full life, whatever. But whatever. For you, that's like a big chunk. Yeah, for you, that's a larger percentage, asshole. Yeah. Way back in 2018.
Back in my day, back in 2018.
Yeah, way back. Oh God, I can't imagine. But yeah, I mean, when you think about it, when you think about that you've had an idea for that long, and for you to have ADHD, like you're saying, and not put it into action until now, which social media has made that availability for it to be a success.
Yeah.
It has made it there. So then all of a sudden you're like, well, dude, I could do this, and I don't have to do it on a huge undertaking to start. We can just start this underground, low key. And that's what's happened with Asphalt Cowboys. You see the type of people, because you and I are different, right? Like our swagger, like we get along really, really well. Our swagger is different.
You can see when we hit the town in Nashville. I mean, you and me are running the fucking show, but we're dressed like we're from two.
Yeah. People are like, you guys must have run into each other in the alley, right? But like the people that came to your booth at ChemTek asking for Asphalt Cowboy hat are a certain type of people, which is fine. Dude, I love that people are all types of types. I prefer it that way. If we were all the same, it'd be very, very boring. So the fact that they have a brand, right, that maybe fits them a lot better than any other brand options they have, and they feel like they can be included and be part of it. Same thing, people choose this podcast over whatever podcasts because they're part of the community. They feel involved. They like the stories, and it's a home. People were like that came to the booth for Asphalt Cowboys. So what type of person is that, Josh? Like what person follows Asphalt Cowboys?
To sum it up, it's your good old boys. It's the ones who grew up in the country, the ones who listen to country music. We like riding four-wheelers. We like going out on the farm. We like hunting. We like fishing. It's those folks. I mean, the camo hats, man, they sold out like that. I mean,
no, they were gone.
I couldn't keep them on the shelf.
Trust me, I know. I tried getting one, remember? Because I wanted to be country. I can be country too, Josh.
Look, I get you. Look, we need to go to the
Don't promise me a hat, dude.
No. I'm promising we got to go to the boot barn.
No, dude.
Get one.
You'll say that, and then you'll look over, and there'll be a squirrel, and then you'll be done. Like the idea, the thought will be gone, and you're like, forget about it. But those are the guys that I just came back from Kentucky. They're already doing road work. Those guys are already out in the heat. They're already sweating. Those are the Asphalt Cowboys, dude. The ones that live in those areas, right? They're riding horses. They're out doing their thing, but yet also they're putting material down.
On when you're not working shift, you're out there roping. You're working the ranch. I mean, it's for those kind of people. And I mean, Texas doesn't shut down. Florida doesn't shut down. Mississippi don't shut down.
No.
I mean, there's a whole nother world where it's like you talk about guys getting laid off in the winter. I mean, they work 365 days a year. I mean, I was talking to them this year. They're like, one of my guys down in San Antonio, he said, yeah, I mean, we got them working Christmas Eve. They get Christmas off, day after Christmas off, and then we're right back in the saddle.
That's crazy, dude.
That's how you do it. The plant doesn't shut down.
I don't think the podcast would exist if that happened up here, dude. Like I wouldn't have had the spare time to think about it and get it started and get the wheels going for it. But there's time and place for everything. Everybody exists where they exist for a reason. So, when we talk about Asphalt Cowboys, obviously you need to get some more merch and get people on there, but they can go on Instagram and find you right now. At the end of it, we'll talk about you'll literally have the longest list of social media tags, I believe. Remember, I was giving you shit the other day about how many Instagrams you have. I'm like, dude, why do you have like 4 or 5 Instagrams? When I type your name in, like 4 or 5 different Instagrams come up. And you're like, well, I forgot the passwords of 3 of them. Yeah, or whatever it was. Or 2 of them. Yeah, so now I get it. Now that
social media has changed the game. I'm not very good at it still. I'm still learning. I learn from you every day about all the different ways that you've been able to crush it. And it's like it's opened up so many doors for building businesses, building cultures, building communities, building brands. I mean, I wanted to start my own contracting business, and my brother's a social media and advertising genius. He does all of our PavePro stuff, all of our ChemTek stuff. He crushes that. He's at Chapel Hill. He worked for the New York Rangers. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. He's like, you got to have an Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and you're like, well, yeah, I should have 5 then. If it's so great, I should have 5 of them. Yeah.
I'm like, I need I'm like, all right, what do I need to do for this? What do I need to do for this? And I'm always picking people's brains. I'm always picking your brain.
Yeah.
How do you do this? Whether it's for Wisco, whether it's for the banter, no matter what you're doing, I'm like a sponge constantly. And I feel like that's part of the reason that I push myself so far into so many of these different ventures is I'm always chasing after how can I be 1% better in everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's soaking in that information and then dispensing it back out after I've processed it and been able to put my own spin on it.
I got you. Yeah. And that leads us into Bull City, right? So tell us a little bit about that, because we actually have to talk about actual physical work that we do. And Bull City is going to be that for you. I know it is. You guys aren't shy of work. I know that, like, you don't shy away from the physical labor. Anybody can go on your Instagrams and whichever one they choose and see you striping at Air Force bases and airports and everything else and being out in it too. So tell us about Bull City and what you got going on with that.
Right now, the biggest thing that I'm trying to focus on is when I first kind of put together my business plan and put together my goals for it, it was how can I provide the most value in my city? In Durham, where I'm at, home of Duke, for those of you that don't know where Durham is, there's no big paving company. I mean, a lot of it's in Raleigh. A lot of it is in Charlotte and Greensboro. We've got a couple folks. Sunrock's our big plant here. They do a lot of the large commercial work and all the mainline work, but there's not many folks out here that are doing large commercial stuff.
Yeah.
And it's apparent when you drive around town and look at everyone's parking lots and look at everyone's driveways and everything. And I was like, I'm damn good at striping. We do stuff to the FAA and military spec all the time. I'm like, I could go out and rip through a parking lot after doing, a 1.5 mile long runway. Yeah. I was like, why don't I go out there and try this? And I started doing it, and it was easy. It felt natural. I enjoyed doing it is the biggest thing. You asked me why I do these different things. The reason I do the construction and do my own contracting is because I love it. I truthfully love it. I love Saturday night, take the work light out there, throw the work light up, and just grip and rip it, man. Just start working.
Yeah.
If it's shotgun and a bang energy at 9 o'clock at night and working until 3 a.m. to get it done, that's what we do. And I thoroughly, I hope you can hear the enthusiasm. I thoroughly enjoy it and love every bit of it.
I think you have to.
It's fulfilling. It's so fulfilling seeing what that parking lot looks like before I do, whether it's crack fill, whether it's rejuvenation, whether I'm striping it. Looking at that before and that after is just such a sense of fulfillment and enjoyment. I'm sure everyone knows exactly what that's like.
Yeah, I think a good percentage of us definitely do. And then you have another percentage of us that, they like certain different aspects of it. But for me, I like the same thing. I get that fulfillment that you talk about. But also, dude, I think because of the community and because of us being able to share what we do with other people that are doing what we're doing, that is really what gives me the satisfaction when we're doing it, is because I'm doing what has made me part of this community. So we're going to get to share it. We're going to get to talk about it. We're getting experience in it. That way, whether it's on the podcast or whether we get to hang out in the comment section or whether we get to hang out in real life, whether it's World of Asphalt, MPE or whatever, hopefully there'll be some more events coming up in the future where people can start to gather. To me, that is where my satisfaction is because, like, even when I'm out estimating, and this has happened a lot lately, is that I feel fulfilled that I'm doing part of the bigger vision.
Big picture.
So I know that it's, in my mind, I can see that big picture. I'm doing the steps that are going to take it to where I can already see it in my brain. It is down the future. That gets me excited. The problem is, when you run a business, if it's outside of your family, if your employees are outside of your family, you have to find people that are bought into that idea.
And it's hard.
That's
It's
a hard thing to do. I always shout out Daniel Wright. It seems like every friggin' podcast, but we were talking about that. Daniel Wright at Proline, he's like, Marvin, you know, we got to find people that are bought in, like that they're willing to do what we would do because of the bigger picture. Like it has to be part of their goal too in their life.
No one is going to care as much as you do. And
I don't need them to. I don't expect them to, but I also do and would hope that they feel like they're part of something.
yeah, and for us, I'll tell you, for us, when I'm hiring new salespeople, and when I'm hiring anybody, whether it's for a construction, whether it's for ChemTek, no matter what it is, for me, and I think if I could give one thing for anyone to take away from this, it's hire people who are passionate. You don't have to be passionate about asphalt. You don't have to be passionate about construction. You have to be passionate about something, because that passion translates into everything else that you do.
Yeah, it's a character trait. And I think that, you know, the days of when you interview somebody and they're like, well, I'm a hard worker and I can listen to instruction good. Like, that's great. And we definitely need those type of people too. But I also would really like for somebody that's in the position to lead and make changes to be very passionate about this. So you know, we've hired more people this year at Wisco than I've ever hired before. And when I put my Facebook posts out to hire people, I don't put it in the ads. I don't put it whatever. I just put what our culture's like, who we're looking for, what type of person.
I've seen you post it on Facebook.
Yep, and I don't even post how much money they're going to be making. I don't post about anything. I don't want that to be the incentive for them to first message me. Yeah. What I first want them to do is message me because they feel like they're going to be part of a big picture and they're going to feel like they're part of a family, right? And they're going to enjoy being here. That's my biggest thing. I want people to enjoy being here. And if money is your motivation, if money is your main motivation to work here, we're probably going to have some trouble because it's never going to be enough. You know, it'll never be enough.
No matter what you do, it's never ugh. It's never enough for anybody.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was a billionaire, I would wake up very happy. You know, I promise you I would. But there's also things that could make me unhappy then. So my big thing is, dude, wherever you work, I want you to be happy.
Look,
when I stop by the ChemTek booth, everybody's happy.
You see a smile on everyone's face.
Yeah, I do.
If we haven't slept.
Yeah, even if we're hungover, it's a forced smile. Even when I was there, I had to smile because it was like, damn, dude, I can't believe we're still on our feet some of these days.
You saw me, man. It's like once they turn that corner,
yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, give me a bottle of water and some kind of carbohydrate, man. Like get me back to life. Mm-hmm. So real quick, I kind of want to talk about, and I'll let your dad get on here, you know, his day and talk about that. But when we talk about all the things you got going on, right? And it's very hard to devote all your attention to doing them very, very, very well. One thing that is usually an issue, especially in a generational business, is that the person that's going to be taking over that business, or peoples that are going to be taking over that business, have a want to create their own legacy, like you said, bigger and better, and do that thing. So where do you see that in the future, Josh? Like, what do you see for Josh Rigsbee? Like, I know we've talked about what you know, for some of the things that you would hope they would get to. ChemTek is a force, and I know that it's not going to, the machine is not going to stop. But for you, for yourself, for your legacy, for the stuff you're into, like, what do you see for the future? Sweating your ass off on parking lots with Bull City, or what?
You know, right now for me, that's a nice fulfilling thing on the side. I'd like to see that get to the point where I can bring people in and hire people to let them take the reins.
Yeah.
Let them continue to grow that. Let me build the foundation. Let me plant that seed, and then all of us reap that beautiful flower. That's kind of the direction I'd like to take that. Asphalt Cowboys, Matt has really laid the framework for all of us to follow. And so it's always like, wow, that's a good idea. And we juggle ideas back and forth for what we do with PavePro and what they do with Raised on Blacktop, and passing stuff back and forth there. For Asphalt Cowboys, man, right now I'm really just kind of flying by the seat of my pants with it. I've got a lot of cool ideas for a lot of designs that are man, they're pretty fucking cool. As that's the only way to put it. And it's got it on paper. We got to get it put on Illustrated, and we got to get it on a shirt, and then boom, it's up for people to get a hold of. And the thing for that is it's not about the money. I mean, the money is what lets me, the money for that is what lets me keep it up there. It's what you got to have the money, right, to buy all the shirts.
Yeah.
But for me, it's I wanted something. Me, Josh, wanted something that represented this culture that I was a part, two cultures that I was a part of. How could I mesh the Southern lifestyle and asphalt paving? How can I take those two together? And being able to do that has been really fun. And so I'm just kind of as I see fit and where it can come together, we're doing that for ChemTek.
Yeah.
That's a big one, man.
That's a big one. That's a machine. That's a machine.
I saved it for last. I would like to really take PavePros around the world, but I would really like to take it. The force and the foundation that we have in the US is really, in terms of our market and what we do, unmatched. We're pushing a 50% market share, which if you take the fact that people still use diesel into consideration, that's
a big chunk of it. Yeah.
And so my goal is to take that same force and push it around the world. Australia, Canada, Mexico. We've been in talks for other products that you and I have mentioned and spoken about with doing things in India. I've got a trip planned for India, hopefully in June, with the ministry over there. So we're working on a lot of big things overseas. I'd like to continue growing that, but just really like we said, driving that stake in further.
I think that's what it is. I honestly think that's what it is. I think it's legacy, and everybody wants to feel part of something, and everybody wants to feel like they contributed to part of something, right? And now with the podcast almost being like a documentary of the events and the people that were at these events, and then also what came out, like what material came out, what products came out, all that stuff. And then chronologically, we have talked about the happenings within the asphalt maintenance and asphalt industry the whole way through. People have a chance now to be part of the community, be part of the industry, something that they have always been part of.
Yeah, I think
hasn't been able to tack their legacy on.
That's a good point. And what I think what we did this year that we haven't done before, and what I've been trying to push and build, is what we've done with PavePro is, for the first time ever in the world of industrial chemicals, we were the first people to build a brand, a following, a culture, an image around a specific physical product, the cleaner. Who in the world would have thought that a asphalt solvent or asphalt release agent would have a brand around it
in our industry?
Exactly. So
in our industry,
I mean, I look around my office and it's PavePro, 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 PavePro. I mean, everything is about this brand, and I want to take that and continue to, like what you've done with the banter and how we've been able to both partner up with people and the connections that we've been making in this culture. We're at this
big
ground floor. Everyone who's listening to this, we're at the ground floor of something that is only going to keep growing. And being a part of that, man, you better jump on that horse and ride, baby, because that thing is going.
I know it is. It's not going to slow down either. Like, I've spent most of the time in the basement, and now I'm up to the ground floor. Like, I was like, dude, I'm like, all right, now we're all here. Everybody's here. Let's go ahead and make this thing happen. And like I always say, dude, I'm super thankful to be existing in this time in our industry with some of these people that are doing stuff with killer brands. ChemTek, Rigsbee, Blacktop, the Banter, all these brands. What's crazy is, if people step back and think about it, asphalt touches everybody. Like, it doesn't matter. Everybody drives on it.
That's like what we talked about it in P.
Yeah, I mean, everybody touches it. Now, here's the other thing. Within the asphalt industry, we all kind of touch everything within the asphalt industry too. Now, if you think about it, there's certain canisters on paving machines that could get filled with PavePro, right? And then that's what you use to dress down your hopper, throw it in the trucks, do whatever. Also, you listen to the podcast, buy a hat, buy a shirt. You're wearing that while we're on there. You're listening to the podcast while you're out there, right? And in the meantime, there's people that are using the same sealer that I talk about using here on the podcast or wherever you see me use it, or crack filler or machine. Not only that, this machine that is on the podcast is used over here in California by somebody else at the same time. So and then that person reads Pavement Magazine or Ape Magazine or whatever. So it's all intertwined, right? It's all intertwined and connected. And when you realize that, that means that everybody has an opportunity, if they want it, to create an impact in the industry. Like, no matter what, if you're in the industry, you have an opportunity to create an impact. Now you can either create a big impact, or create a small impact. Whatever suits your fancy is fine. And I think that when you talk about stuff like PavePro, like, it's going to end up being iconic. I have a feeling it's going to end up being iconic by the time we're done there. Sure, somebody else can come along and try to make something better or replicate, but
they try.
Yeah, they could try. Yeah,
can't.
but at the same time, like, everybody's chasing Nike, everybody's chasing Rogan in the podcast world, right? Like, there's always the one, and I think PavePro is probably gonna end up being that icon when it comes to that solution. Now, it's a great foundation to build and do whatever the hell you want to off of it. This little brand right here has been my base to be able to do this brand right here, right? If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to, no one would give me any credit for the shit I talk about, because they're like, dude, you don't even know, dude, you've never even held a shovel. You've never had sealer underneath your fingernails. You ain't got asphalt burns and crack filler burns on your hands. Well, shit, yeah, I do. You watch the videos, right? So that's the thing that I think that when we talk about.
Well, you make a good point, and I relate that back a lot when I'm out on job sites talking about PavePro. People might, it's like, well, do you really know what you're talking about? And I'm like, believe it or not,
I do. Yeah.
And it's like it comes across, I think, in not only how I dress, how I walk, how I talk. I love this industry. I've talked about it before on Hops and Highways. I love this industry. I love the people. I love being involved in it. I grew up in it. It's so cool getting to have a hand in some degree to everything that happens in this whole grand scheme. And being able to, I'm talking to folks today in like we talked about in Alaska, down the road from me in North Carolina. It's all over the world. It's so cool.
Well, you think about it, dude. We're not only that, not only are we talking with our end users or our clients, right? Whether it's Seal Coat or it's my listeners or whatever, we are talking about, like, I'm going to point, you must be this way on your screen, or you're this way on my screen. So I'll point over here.
I'm like lopsided. I was kind of,
yeah. You're over here on this side of my screen, but we are talking about working together.
Yeah.
Right. And then not only that, like, some major brands that I never thought, that I had always hoped that I would work with are talking about working with us. Like, there's opportunity for all kinds of collaboration. There's plenty of space for everyone. We've always known it. They're always going to keep putting more blacktop down. They're always going to keep innovating. People, listen, man, we're hard on equipment. People are going to run out of PavePro.
Recycled material as asphalt.
Well, people are going to run out of PavePro in their hoppers. They're going to have to order more. People are going to beat their paver and their roller to shit, and you have to buy another one. Like, it's always going to keep going. And there's plenty of opportunity for all of us to work together, connect, influence outside of whatever, and make it happen. And you see that, especially with guys like yourself and ChemTek, when they're open-minded and they think that way, they're like, oh, there's an opportunity there, and we can do it. And granted, it might start out as a small opportunity that turns into a bigger idea.
Exactly.
I think that's making those connections, breaking the ice, getting into the industry, getting into the community is the really first big step. You and I wouldn't have connected, right, if we wouldn't have been part of this community. And we're friends. Like, granted, we give each other plenty of shit and whatnot, but I really do enjoy, like you said, I really enjoy being part of the industry and the community. Like, it's a fulfilling thing knowing that as long as I stay here and do my thing and make an impact and create a legacy, I'm going to feel very fulfilled for the rest of my life, knowing that we're in this industry, and we get to hang out. And I always say this, I always go to this analogy: in 20, 25 years, we're going to be, cheersing somewhere and being like, dang, that was a good ride. Granted, I'll be old and you'll still be 10 years younger or whatever, but we're still going to be there kicking ass and
Kicking
just
ass and doing your thing.
looking back on a really good lived life. And to me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So what about advice real quick? You're a young buck. All right. I'm going to finally say it. You're not old. You're young still.
I'll take it.
Okay. So now we're going to flip some advice, because most of the time people are giving life advice about things they learned. I would like you to give advice to people like me that are a little bit older, that are trying to figure out some of the stuff in the younger world, in the younger realm, how younger people think. What advice do you have? Like, if your dad, let's say you were talking to your dad, Dad, I need to give you this advice real quick about business or about life.
Give them a shot. It's as simple as that. Give them a shot. I think what we see as the biggest problem in our industry is it's what everyone says now. We're an old industry. We're a dated industry. Where everyone's trying to bring in new ideas, but everyone's resistant to change. No matter what it is, give it a shot. Like we said, you throw something to the dartboard, eventually it's going to stick. That's how everything progresses. That's innovation. Whether we're talking about product iteration, trying new chemical formulations, doing stuff in the lab, whether we're talking about trying to find new ways to be efficient out in the field, letting people manage in different ways, just give it a shot. I mean, you think you know best until you don't. And times are changing. The world is constantly changing, for better or for worse in a lot of ways, but changing for better or for worse. And give it a shot. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, give them a shot. Cool. All right, now let's get to your socials, dude, because I don't even know where to start. Where can people find you online?
Oh God! All right.
Let's start with ChemTek first.
All right. ChemTek
website.
All right, website. I gotta look. We got 2 minutes.
www.chemtek.us.
www.chemtekinc.com. That's where you can see
chemtekinc.com. Okay.
You can see our family of products, whether you're interested in Navion, Neselect, PavePro. You want us to come out there and use our grip tester. You want us to come out and do airfield maintenance.
Are you gonna send me some PavePro so I can make some content on it?
I gotta look. We got a little something. We got a little something in the works.
I'm gonna polish this dome up with it. Bro. I can tell you that much. And then let's talk about Asphalt Cowboys real quick. People can find you on Instagram.
Asphalt_Cowboys_co company.
All right, and you got a website up?
Yep, it is asphaltcowboys.us.
All right, go there and check out all the sold out signs on everything. And then Bull City. That's Bull on City Instagram
Blacktop,
too. Just started.
Hit us up on Instagram. We'd love a follow. That is Instagram is Bull City Blacktop, website bullcityblacktop.com. Okay. Follow along with us repaving all of Durham.
All right, and then what about your OnlyFans? Yeah, all right. Yeah, now I know how you funded that Asphalt Cowboy. All right, cool. All right, that's it, man. Let's do it real quick. Let's do a pod decks, because I mean, I could make one up and ask you some crazy shit and make
you get some wild shit on here, man.
Yeah, I could do it, but
we got to keep it user friendly.
Yeah, we sure. You mean PG?
PG, whatever. Yeah,
don't say whatever. And that UNC degrees shining through. All right, dude, this is a perfect one for you. I can't wait for this one. All right, I'm gonna show it real quick so people can see it. Can you read that?
Oh my God, yeah, it's a hot dog, a sandwich, and why? Oh man, it's like the damn wheels or doors.
Is it or not? Is a hot dog a sandwich or not?
No.
Why?
No.
Why? Why is it not?
The bun connects. Bun connects.
I knew you were gonna say that, dude. I knew you were gonna say that's why. All right, cool. All right, that's it. Josh, thank you so much for joining us, man, on the podcast. Hey. I know we get to talk pretty often, but I'm glad people get to kind of seeing the bullshit I have to deal with regularly talking to you, man.
No, man, I appreciate it. Like I told you, it's cool being able to come on here after listening to the show for a while. It's surreal. All of this, I feel like, whether it's this or whether it's you and I, what we've been working on, or whether it's what I'm doing with PavePro, what I'm doing with ChemTek, what I'm doing with Asphalt Cowboys or Bull City Blacktop, it feels like when you stick the course and you show up every day and you keep hammering, all of a sudden things just one day just start falling, and they fall and they fall and they keep falling. And it's like you're creating this world for yourself. So it's been fun. I'm just enjoying the ride right now.
Me too, dude. I'm enjoying what we're making it. And hopefully, we keep getting the support that we get to be able to keep doing it, because we have some really big plans, some great ideas, and I really think that within the next few years, it's going to be pretty awesome for everybody.
It's gonna be cool to look back on this in 5 years and see what we've done, because we're the people shaping the future of this industry.
I think so, man. All right. Well, for Josh Rigsbee and all of his 27 businesses and his family, we're going to get your dad on here. People are going to see the contrast between you and him, and then probably wonder who your real father is, because dude, he's so much fun, and you are too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just giving you some shit, but
Broadway,
he's a lot funner. He's a lot funner. I'm going to be honest with you.
Broadway begs to differ, baby.
No, I don't think so. He partied. I watched him party, dude. Granted, it was for a short time and really intense, but I did watch him party. All right, he knows how to do that. Trust me.
Old man can't hang.
No, not like he used to, but he can at least show up, and
he can.
For him, I'll consider that a victory. All right. So for Josh and myself, as always, I'm gonna do. I started a new tagline as well, a new slogan. But I always say, seal it, pave it, stripe it, and kill it, right? But also I wanted to say we speak asphalt, because we do. And for me, that's probably the line you're going to see under the Blacktop Banter logo, the new logo, which everyone tells me they love. It's fresh. They like it. That's going to be probably our permanent logo. And that's going to be the slogan, is we speak asphalt. We do, man. We all do in this industry. We all do. No matter what aspect of it you are, we all speak asphalt. So we want to seal it, pave it, stripe it, and kill it as well. Peace.
Goodbye.